So recently I've realized just how difficult it's been to be vulnerable. I'm 30 now, going on 31 this year, and it's really weird to feel this way when vulnerability, being able to tap into more of that more emotional side has always been a very core kind of feeling for me. And I've noticed just in the past few months, more so, that has been a struggle, and it really comes out or it really shows itself as I've moved away from the U.S. And part of the reason why I felt like I could more easily move away from just regular life is a lot of my relationships have never really been based on proximity. I've never needed to be in the same city radius of any of the people that I'm really close with to be able to continue to be close with them. So I always felt like we could pick up right where we left off no matter where any of us are located. And so I always felt like that connection aspect, that like core connection aspect was just came so naturally to me. And more recently, I've started to lose this sense of just being able to reach out and feel more and feel like no sort of pressure, or like I need to, like, maybe there's like a microscope on my words or the way I'm saying things, or how I'm delivering text, or what I'm saying in these phone calls. And it's just like a lot of like weird anxiety, but it just feels really foreign to me. And I wonder, I'm just making this video because I wonder where that kind of stems from. When I have a goal in mind that's taken so much precedent over the inner work, and that's what this channel is all about in the first place, is just being able to do the inner work, and how that comes out for us. And currently I've taken a step back and noticed that me being so me being so closed off. Me being so closed off, this is editing me realizing that I hadn't completed that thought, but also realizing that I had more to say anyways in regards to the topic of vulnerability. And not to be cliche, but a lot of it does stem from that upbringing, the machismo, the patriarchy, the idea that men have to act a certain way and have it be a certain way, and we can't show emotion. It always somehow circles back around to that. And I mean, there's a lot more factors that go into it that I'm gonna get into in the rest of the video, but I had to include that in on this, and how over the years that's started to really rear its ugly head in my life, and not even really noticing the way that it's started to show up, or that the different ways that it can show up even when you do try to not let it be a part of your story. That's just the way it is. More recently, I've noticed that a lot of the way that my lack thereof of vulnerability has come to fruition is this idea that I feel way more avoidant of making these connections and reaching out to people. And that feels more like a symptom of needing to be, being so focused on making something happen. I keep coming back to this idea of maturing and having to leave some of those. I don't want to say immature, because I think it's so important. I think vulnerability is in being able to tap into emotions and just feel is so important. But as I've gotten more like rigid, I think, and more angry in some ways, I don't allow myself to feel that. And that's counterproductive for everyone. My partner's especially going to let me know when I'm not all the way there, when I'm too locked in, so to speak. I don't know. I just know that I have to be better than that, tap into that again, because that's really like who I am, and it's something that I take a lot of pride in, and I feel like makes me stronger. It makes me feel more in alignment with everything that I'm doing and the path that I'm going down, the path that I'm currently on. It's really tough for me too, because I feel like I know so much about vulnerability. Because over the pandemic, I was a shift supervisor at Starbucks, and our store manager would has started this book club of just the shift leads. And I think I got there later, and she was about to. This was like her last few months before she ended up moving up. But the book that I remember us reading at the time was Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. That book taught me so much, and it just put me so it just put me on to the idea of what vulnerability means, looks like, and how it can help, and not only in like in situations where you have to be a leader, but just in everyday life. And I think Brene Brown does a lot of that really good work that I would also like to speak on and learn more about and dive deeper into. And that's only going to happen if I'm there too. The more I'm able to allow the vulnerability to seep into my work and not push it to the side, it'll resonate. It'll resonate, and it'll really show that deeper feeling of how things are. I don't know if I'm saying this the way that I if it's coming out the way that I'm feeling it, but I feel like there's an important message to be had that we all have, and part of the way to be able to fully encompass those feelings and those emotions of the times and the way we need to fight back in order to make more sense of the world, and how that shows up in our art and our work and just our everyday lives and community, and what that does to for our own self growth is super important to be able to like tap into, to be able to really look at and tap into. And I just really would like to get back to that. I would like to not feel so alone sometimes. And I feel like a lot of that, or I understand that that's only going to happen if it starts with me, and all that starts with myself. So those are just a few thoughts that I have about that topic of vulnerability. I've been kind of ruminating on for a little bit now. If you have any thoughts yourself of what that means to you, and how you are also in conversation with your own personal, like deeper emotional intellectualism, just drop that down in the comments below. And yeah, that's all for today. I'll see you in the next one.